We're here with Amiad Cohen, the General Director of Tikkma Fund in Israel. We're at the Tikkva Fund Conservatism Conference here in Jerusalem. Tell me what type of energy you think a conference like this brings to the state of Israel and the Jewish people.
I think it's changing the state of Israel in the long term, and I'm emphasizing Israeli conservatism. We're not copying anything. We're building the Israeli conservative world of ideas that will manifest itself in the future towards politics, towards leadership. But this is the movement, the bottom-up movement that is starting to rise here. That the young people in Israel are starting to say what they care for.
And what are the differences between this Israeli conservatism and maybe what you would consider an American conservatism?
First of all, maybe the framework is similar, but the complications that we have here in Israel and the conflicts, the internal debates we have are different. We have no debates regarding to maybe gun control or abortions. We have different. The foundations of the state of Israel are different. America started as the land of the free, and Israel started as the land of the communists. And we're trying to evolve towards something that the institutions are stuck in the past, and we're trying to build new institutions. America is trying to come back to the origins, so it's very different. The Jewish identity, the Jewish story, the Jewish values are part of an eminent story here. But I think the real difference between America and Israel is in America, the younger that you get, the more progressive and liberal you are. In Israel, the younger you get, the more conservative you are.
And why do you think that is?
So there's two reasons. One, an Israeli is always mugged by reality. You pay the taxes, and it's very, very high taxes. You go once every 10 years, you go and you have to fight a war. Every couple of months, unfortunately, we have a terror attack here, and you understand that you can't live an abstract life, a life of abstract ideas and enforcing them on reality. We have to be stronger, we have to be better, and the young people of Israel understand that. And they see the difference between the public sector and the high-tech sector, and see that's socialism, that's free market. We want to be there, that's successful. And we understand that if we don't take responsibility for our families, there will be no Jewish people. So put all these together, you may be today 20 years old in Israel, a libertarian. In the age of 30, you're a conservative, understanding the importance of society, the importance of family, and the importance of free markets. It used to be a 20-year-old Marxist and maybe becoming conservative when you're getting older.
And where do you think that leaves Israel in 20 years from now?
In a much better place, definitely. Today, Israel's GDP is still stuck on 50% of the American one. It didn't change in the past 30 years. America has growth and Israel has growth, but not enough. If we have significant changes in the Israeli market, it will change. Now, economy is not only money. Economy is national strength and national security. It's the connection between Israel and America will strengthen because Israel will be much more important for America. We'll have leverage on international affairs so countries from Europe cannot interfere in Israeli politics. But that's only one sector. We will have a better community and better society once the central government will break down their power towards local governments. And we will have a more vibrant communities, a better education system. There's so much that will change in the state of Israel. I believe in 15 years, you will see these things coming inside policies and changing dramatically the state of Israel.
Now, the Conservatism Conference is a major success, but it's not the only initiative you're working at Tikkva Fund Israel. Can you tell me a little bit more about some of your activities and the effect that they're having?
Yes, so we planned almost 7 years ago a long-term strategy how to start a bottom-up movement that we understand that two things are important: ideas and people. So in the ideas realm, the role of ideas in Israel is one-sided. All the institutions don't have any conservative ideas. Just to give you an example, Adam Smith is not translated to Hebrew in full length yet. We have only a third of the first book. And a variety of other thinkers and authors are not introduced to the Israeli intellectual elite. So the first thing we're doing is introducing them, translating these books, articulating them in a Shiloh magazine. It's a public magazine, public policy magazine that has over 4,300 paying subscribers. That is a massive number here in Israel. We have a publication of books. Everyone here knows Jordan Peterson, I believe. And when we bought the rights to translate his book into Hebrew, no one bet against us in buying the rights, and the book sold 2 million pieces in the States. But the Israeli intellectual elite are so progressive, they don't even know these ideas, they don't think there's a market here. And we've proven by a supply-side economics that there's a great demand for these things. We sold close to 200,000 books in 4 years. We sold 4,300 paying subscribers for the journal for the 30th issue rate. And that's the ideas part. But then we have the people part, that we educate students to be a leader in Israel, to try to have a real difference in policies. You need to have a staff. Now, if your staff go through universities, so they're stuck with the progressive Keynesian ideas in economics and very weak and idealistic neo-Marxist ideas in grand strategy and the rest, definitely in the courts and the legal system. And what we're doing is educating the next generation that will have that side of perspective. So a leader, when he will arrive here in Israel, rise a political figure that will be a conservative political figure, he will have the staff to make the real difference in the state of Israel.
Amiad Cohen, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you very much.
And congratulations on a great
Thank you
conference.
very much.